Good evening, everybody, and welcome out to the 2020 Randomizer tournament, Random Percent tournament. Tonight we have Cytown versus BogieSmalls. Cytown, of course, taking the first match. And with me on the commentary is Homer J. Smash.
How you doing tonight, Jiggly?
I'm doing all right here. It's hopefully going to be an interesting race. What would you like to see? I mean, I know what the racers would love to see. They'd love to see all eight Triforces. Actually, no, I scratched that. They don't want to see all eight Triforces in a level 9 right next door. They want to see. I'd say they maybe want to say 4 or 5 Triforces because you want to be have an incentive to go and dig those dungeons to find items.
Yeah, absolutely. For me personally, I hate starting with or with eight Triforces because then it's just a race to who can find nine first.
Well, it's
So
even.
I think,
Sorry, I was gonna say it's even worse when level 9 is like right next door.
oh yeah, definitely, it's not a good feeling because then you always feel like you're up against the clock. So it'll be interesting. This flag set, almost every single flag in the randomizer is turned on 50-50. So it'll be interesting as we go through to figure out what overworld we're in and what dungeon quest we have, if we have mixed quests for either. There's a lot of vanilla flags that can roll, so we might see palettes that are the same color as what we would normally see in vanilla, or the wood sword might be in the wood sword cave. So it's pretty interesting to see as the seed develops, kind of get your bearings on what the heck we're even playing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The first thing we're all going to be doing here is all of us, including the racers, they're going to be getting a lay of the land. They're going to see, okay, which flags are turned on, which flags are turned off. We have 0 HP enemies. We have plus minus 4 HP enemies. Whereas the sword is in its vanilla location. Do we get any sword upgrades? That is a thing that can happen. Is that the sword upgrades, white sword and magic sword, can be replaced with bomb upgrades.
Yeah, I always love it when it's bomb upgrades, but you actually start with mags or start with the white sword, so you got that bomb
Yeah.
plus there in the A spot. It's always fun. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We do know that the drop rooms are vanilla. That was Bogey's remorse flag. That's another unique thing about this tournament is the loser of a match gets to pick one flag to turn
Oh,
either on or turn off for the next game.
so
So
would
we know that Triforces will be in Triforce rooms.
okay, so that means that the items that are found in the rooms are going to stay in the room. So we're going to see boss rooms having heart containers, or could that possibly be, or could those possibly be shuffled with heart shuffle?
Yeah, so Triforce will be in a Triforce room. You know that the
Goliath room will have
um,
an important
the
item.
Gliok room in one, or sorry, the Aquamanus room in one is going to have the heart or
Yeah,
the item if
yeah,
heart shuffle is on.
yeah. And the four block room with the Gurias, they're going to have the item that replaces the boomerang. And of course, vanilla items is always possible too. So we may end up seeing a vanilla boomerang in the boomerang room or a vanilla bow in level 1. Now, of course, if that happens, I mean that's good news. That's pretty easy news if you get first quest. But well, what happens if you get shapes? And more importantly, what happens if you get hidden dungeon numbers?
In terms of the drop rooms, or
Well, what I mean is that in terms of finding your bearings and knowing where's what and where.
oh yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot of indicators that you can kind of look for. We'll kind of see those. We kind of talk through those as we go. If we end up having shapes, which I would love. I love a good shape
I'd love to
seed.
have shapes. I would love if dungeon numbers were not hidden. That's one. I think that's one of those flags that a lot of runners really don't like. I mean, there's some obvious ones. One hit KO, blackout, mirrored overworld. Those are like the fancy, high end, advanced flags that most people, unless your name happens to be Saver, would stay a far, far, far away from. But hidden dungeon numbers, that's one of those ones that it's like it's not technically terrible, but it is if you just don't if you just really aren't like attuned to the ins and outs of how dungeons work.
Looks like we're getting ready to get started here. We got our runners with their excellent file names up here. Yeah, no, I totally agree with what you're saying here. Except for I personally love Mirrored Overworld. I wish that it was one of the flags that was in the mix for this beginning
Well,
tournament here.
if I remember correctly, mirrored overworld, you need both of the runners need to sort of have an agreement for that.
Yeah, they can turn it on 50-50.
Also, I think also shuffled secret spots too. That's another one that you can kind of add as well. And here we go. We're starting off in the forest, and it looks like we've got three pieces of the Triforce. That looks like three. That looks like um, is that five? I think that might be 6 and 8, maybe. Yeah. Okay, 5 and 8. That's right. Now, of course, if we're dealing,
It kind
if
of
we're dealing
depends on where we're at, with the dungeons. We don't really know.
Yeah, if we're dealing with second quest dungeons, there's the sword right away. It has been shuffled. So that is really nice to find so early, and it looks like BogieSmalls kind of missed out on that. And we got 27 as our bomb, so a little up, no, by 7 rupees, so that's not terrible. It looks like we've got a heart here on the coast, and we start with the ladder, and we start with some arrows.
Yeah, that's great, actually. I love starting with the ladder because that seems to be the item that always frustrates me the most when I'm looking for it. And arrows is also good because now you don't have to. It's one thing you don't have to buy out of a shop.
Now, one thing I did want to mention that someone in chat pointed out too, if we're dealing with second quest, dungeons, the Triforce number 3 would correspond to Dungeon 2, and number 5 would correspond to Dungeon 4, and number 8 would correspond to Dungeon 7.
Yeah, we still have a lot of information we need because we can be split. 1 through 6 can be one quest, and 7, 8,
Yes.
9 could be another. So we're still not sure what the Triforce layout
Here's
is,
the
but
best way of here's the best way of putting it. In the game just does a little bit of rejiggering. So for example, level 1 stays level 1 in the second quest. Level 2 is actually level 3. You can see the level 3 palette in second quest 2, and the same with the second quest or the second level palette in level 3, right? So when you enter level 3, in fact, the same information that the game reads for Dungeon 2 is used for Dungeon 3 in the second quest. It's pointing to the exact same dungeon. All it's doing is it's telling you it's Dungeon 3. Everything else is exactly the same,
yeah, and
including the
interesting
boss.
so far. We've seen that everybody's going down to one hit, and we have blank hints. So that's something that our runners. It's going to be a quick seed in terms of combat goes. Well, we haven't seen any bosses yet, so that those could still be beefy. But all these enemies are going down very easily.
That's nice. 0 HP enemies. That's a thing that we love to see.
Yeah, I can tell you that I know
Oh,
for a fact that Cytown is not happy to see that.
yeah,
That man likes to
we've got
grind
hidden
out his
dungeon
combat.
numbers. So
Excellent. Yeah, here we go. Hidden dungeon numbers. Not sure about palettes yet, so that could be first quest 8.
actually, I do believe that we're probably in second quest 1. Don't quote me on that one though. We'll see here because we do have some vanilla. Oh no, we've got a Gleeok room here. So let's see. Yeah, there's a heart container. I think we're actually in level. Huh.
Yeah, I think it's 8 because that heart dropped over there on the bottom left corner, right where it does in 8. So I'm pretty sure it's
This might be an item. This is an item. It is the recorder. Nice.
That's a great early item.
And we see that the item is in a single block room. So
Yeah, I love finding recorder early because with this flag set, it could be it could be very powerful. It could take him to 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. All these other dungeons that he hasn't seen.
So if there's an item in this room here, then we'll know that we're definitely dealing with level 8. I mean, although we do still have a staircase in level 8, and we still don't know if we're dealing with shapes exactly. We get the impression we are. It looks like we've got a staircase here. Meanwhile, BogieSmalls digging up the coast. And we do have a compass. Oh, this is some important information here. We're going to go back here, and we don't see a Triforce blinking, do we?
Nope. So
That,
that's first
that
quest
can,
8
yeah, that
already has the
confirms.
Triforce in it.
Yeah.
So at least 7, 8, 9 are first quest, and that's where they have the Triforce from. So that's why he's out of there. He doesn't need to be in there anymore. No
Ooh,
point in spending any more time
175.
in that dungeon. Another item, but he's already got one of them. So
Sorry, I
I'm
just
surprised
wanted
he
to.
didn't blow his recorder.
Sorry. Sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to say we saw 175 rupees for the shield, and that means, oh, that is a horrible small secret. That does mean we are not dealing with the boomstick. So, and with translating the old men not being a factor, and we do have if we're having first quest 1 to 8, or 7 to 8, it looks like the book has an incredible diminished value in the seed.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we don't know what 1 through 6 are yet, so if those are shapes, I'd still pick it up just to get the atlas. Also, no wand yet, so not really any harm in having a book in your inventory before you have a
Here we
wand.
go. We have a level right here at the grave. It looks like Cytown is going to avoid it for now. Possibly wants to see here. Do we have a vanilla? Oh, we've got a magic boomerang. The magic boomerang in this flag set is actually really beneficial because that acts as a long-range weapon. It
Yeah,
won't take down a Dark Nut,
absolutely.
won't take down a Wizrobe, and won't take down a Pulse Voice, but just about everything else is fair game.
Yeah, so one thing I'm a little surprised that Sai did not blow the recorder. That's something that really could bite him because Bogey is in 8 now. If he gets that recorder and starts tooting on that flute when he gets out of here, it takes him to unbeaten dungeons. This could be a pretty kind of grave mistake here for Cytown.
Yeah, we do have the flag where recorders can lead to dungeons that have already been completed, or they could, like that's vanilla. But then we also have it so that you know the dungeons where we don't have the Triforce out of, such as this level 1 here that we know Cytown. So it looks like we are definitely dealing with
Yep, first quest all across.
First quest all down.
So 3 items here, including the heart container.
So
Potentially another item.
you know what this means? This means that we're almost dealing with vanilla. Because
Yeah.
I mean, we got vanilla dropped.
Well, we do have different. Our enemies are dropping different things because those gels dropped hearts.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a little bit interesting. But I mean, like in terms of the dungeons, like, so we know that there's going to be an item somewhere in a. I think it's going to be the diamond staircase. Let's see, is it in here? No, this looks like the Triforce. Pick that one up. And it does look like, at least for now, we don't have any indication that Heart Shuffle is on. But we've only seen one heart container in a room, in a drop room, so it's...
Yeah, we had a heart container at 8, and then we had the heart container on the coast. So if we see one in the stair, then we'll know.
Well, the coast heart might not have actually been shuffled. This room here, that is the wand, yes. So that's the item that replaces the wooden boomerang in level 1.
Yeah, that's a great early find too. No progression items so far. Potentially the recorder.
Now,
I don't think we've seen if it's first quest overworld only. I haven't seen them miss a spot, so
well, they
it might
haven't
just be
been
first
down.
quest.
There's one spot in particular that will tell you which overworld that you're dealing with, and that is the first quest level 3. And how that works out is in first quest or mixed first quest, you're going to see the building, and it's going to be brown. If we have second quest, then it's going to be replaced with the cave screen from all the way out down in the forest. But if we have a second mixed quest, it's going to be should I say a first quest mixed, second quest, or, secrets. It's going to appear. There's the white sword. Anyway,
and Bogey takes an unfortunate death here on Death Mountain.
Sorry, I'm badly explaining stuff. It's taking too long. So
No, it's all right. Yeah, there's basically 4 overworlds that we can have. First quest overworld, second quest overworld, or mixed. And the only difference with the mixed is your cave, the number of caves with mixed second is lines up with second overworld, which really doesn't matter except for the secrets. Like you were saying, you're gonna have one large secret in second mixed.
but how it works though is that the screen in which level 3 is replaced with the shop. That what that is that the shop itself, or the
There we
cave
go.
actually
Now he's
records.
using his recorder. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh! Thank
but it
goodness.
actually, but I'm just saying
It
though, the
does
shop
take him to a
itself.
different dungeon.
So how the caves work is that the information is also tied to the insides and outside borders. And because Fred wants to preserve the border, no palette shuffle in the overworld. He made that clear. He didn't like that idea. You can't quote me on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted. But anyway, what it means is that he needs to preserve those extra bits of value that's within the game, so that makes sure everything looks consistent. So when you have when you have the second quest secrets plus the first quest cave, it ends up changing it so that you have those bits little sets. So you always have like that extra palette. Anyway,
All right, here we go. So Cytown finally got his candle, and now he's recorded over to this dungeon. So he's trying to
this is
figure out if
sick.
this is
This has
one
got
of
to
the
be
ones that he already has the Triforce in, or if this is a new one.
well.
And this is a new one. So
Yeah.
this is good. This is looks like First Quest 6, don't you think?
Yes, it's definitely Dungeon First Quest 6, and that looks like this is the boss room in 6.
Oh man. Yeah, Bogie I don't think blew on his recorder either. Which is
I think
something
you
that
know what? I think they're avoiding that on purpose, just because you want to make, get some checks out of the way, because taking it wherever it goes.
Bogie didn't get the recorder. I see.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
Oh no, there's no way. For me, I mean, unless I have like one cave to check over there, but no, as soon as I get that recorder, I am immediately blowing on the recorder because it's going to potentially take me to all the dungeons that I need to go to.
Yeah. So it does look like it's taking it to dungeons that haven't been completed yet.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be a very quick seed.
Interesting.
Unless Cytown's blocked out of something, all he has to do is keep blowing on the recorder and clearing these dungeons with 0 HP enemies.
So yeah, here we go. We've got to go this way in order to get into the rest of the dungeon. It looks like we've got a staircase here. Gonna see if there's anything up here that's of any value. And this might be a key room. Nope.
Yeah, as Fury's pointing out in chat, you still have to find 9, so that's definitely a thing. And also it limits how you can move around the rest of the overworld, since once you're clearing dungeons, there's not going to be any unbeaten dungeons left for you to whistle to. But I think most runners would still prefer to have whistle to unbeaten, just because it makes it so fast to get to the dungeons you don't know where they are.
Yeah. For this being a Wizrobe dungeon, unfortunately, but it's a good thing we've got the 0 HP on.
Oh yeah, they're pretty easy with 0 HP. Just stay on the half tile and you're fine.
Yeah, unless you get impatient like I do, and it's like, but I want to fight them faster, but then you get hit. So let's see here. So we know that bosses are not 0 HP.
No, that Gleok took him down.
So let's see. There's nothing in this room here. Gonna have to get rid of this Manhandla, but it is a fairly easy to destroy Manhandla, so that is always good.
Yeah, Manhandla's my least favorite boss in the game.
Yeah, it's really hard to time that hit unless you're like absolutely perfect. Let's see here. So it looks like the room down there that's locked, that's where the Triforce is. We're still looking for the item.
Yeah, and we know that they're not vanilla items since we had the magic boomerang as the Armos.
More importantly, we already found the wand in level 1, so we know the wand can't be here in 6.
Correct. Oh, you want that key?
I think, Cytown's gonna grab the Triforce and maybe go back in, because he's not gonna get a chance to come back if we have Recorder to Unbeaten Dungeon. It looks like we've got a
Yeah.
dungeon here on Bogey's side. It is. This looks like it might be level 4.
Yeah, that seems like that could be a good call. He needs to get back to 8. That's gonna be the match, really, because Cytown's about to join him in this dungeon.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
there's
surprised that
Trap.
Cytown left. He's looking for the bow, basically, because he's gonna assume that Silvers and Red Ring are a 9 until he's proven otherwise, would be my guess.
Yeah, generally speaking, you're more likely to bet on the level 9. Let's see here. This is going to be a heart container. Yep, there we go. And, now Bogey has the guaranteed ability to find the white sword item, which we know has been shuffled because we did find that white sword earlier.
Yeah, correct. So that's huge. Yeah, you definitely want to remember that, because if that ends up being the bow or the power bracelet or something, that's required.
Yep,
And you're not going to have a recorder take you there.
yep. And of course, Bogey is finished. This is a pretty simple level 4. All of the items. Well, the drop item, obviously, the arcane item, not required necessarily, but you had to have everything all sort of localized within a few screens. That's something nice to have. And okay, look, so that screen is brown, so it looks like we're dealing with the first quest. First quest.
Yeah, it still could be mixed, but I haven't seen any spots that haven't opened up.
But I think what that means is that we're going to have 3 large secrets, which unfortunately, since this is not a boomstick seed, isn't really of that much concern.
Right. Yeah, definitely going to have the 3 large secrets. And they already have the arrows, and you're not going to need meat probably, unless the game decides to troll you. But with second quest, you definitely want to get meat, just because there's 2 instances of it, and a lot of times,
Yeah.
depending on where you are in 3, it's hard to find it. Man, Cytown gets another compass here. He is flying through. If bow is not required, this will be a very short seed.
Just might.
Bogey finds another dungeon. So he hasn't used his recorder, but he's keeping pace. He's actually been pretty good finding the places that he needs to be.
So we know that this is one of the dungeons that have already been completed, so this looks like this might be 5. Or no, actually, I take that back, it's 3.
This is 3.
This is definitely 3, and yeah, there we go. And of course, that's just the extra bombs, because remember, drop shuffles, dungeon room drop shuffle is
Cytown gets an any key. That's a great find.
Ooh, wow.
And
this
this
is level 2.
Yeah, but he's out of here.
So level 2 is at level 6.
So he just needs to whistle to 7, find 9, and see if he needs the bow. Now Bogey needs to find the bow in 3 here. Something that'll separate him from Cytown, or a power bracelet. No, unless it's 9, power bracelet. It's not going to be needed.
Yeah.
Unless it's the white.
Power
could be
bracelet,
holding the white sword item.
Asking, you shall receive.
Yeah, so that's okay. Cytown get a quick Triforce out of 7. Goodness gracious! All right, so Bogey's better. He's got to hope that Ganon is required, and that the bow is the white sword item, which is power bracelet blocked.
Seems like a pretty tall order, but then again, this game has thrown quite a few curveballs to a lot of runners.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, I hate those 1 rupee secrets.
Unless
it's
you
such
roll,
a killer.
Unless you roll 1 rupee bombs to go with it, it's just terrible.
Yeah, even so, it's just like a waste of time.
That's right, Bogey does not have the recorder, so Bogey cannot try. It looks like we've got a level 9 right here.
Oh my goodness.
And so Cytown has finished the Triforce.
Yeah, no, he recorded right to all the dungeons. So this is it right now. If Ganon's required, it's a match. If Ganon's not required, this is gonna be over in a couple minutes here. And Cytown's just gonna try and go up as much as he can. One of the flags that gets turned on, just because it's 50-50, is keeping Ganon and Zelda in their rooms. And if that's the case, then you can only enter Zelda's room from from the south, so it's a good strategy to always go up. Oh, get the Wizrobe
Yeah,
beam.
yeah, unfortunately those Wizrobes are just that's one of the deficits of not having a lot of health. But here we go, we've got ourselves some land molas with that wand, fortunately able to keep, social distancing.
Yeah, that's
Social
right.
distance land molas.
It's always important.
Gonna check here. Ooh. Oh dear. Okay, there we go. So yeah, one of the things that's really gonna hurt Cytown in this dungeon is the Wizrobes. Because the Wizrobes, that's like four hearts if you get hit by the red Wizrobe beam. 2 with the blue Wizrobe beam. It's gonna be just they're already down to one, half a hit point.
Yeah. Um, I think that honestly, I think he'll be fine if as long as he kind of just calms down a little bit. I'm sure his heart's going right now just because uh, 20 minutes in, you already found all the Triforce pieces. So your instinct is just to like put on the burners, and he's super fast, but he's built up quite a lead here, so he should be fine as
So
long
there
as he.
is Yeah, I was gonna say there is one room here that Cytown will definitely be interested in, and that is a blank room with, some enemies in it, because that is gonna be our compass room.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he knows that. That's one of the things with these room drops not being turned off. Then you don't need to clear rooms that aren't staircase rooms or black rooms.
Ooh, we see Ganon in Ganon's room.
Ganon is
Unfortunately,
in his
wasn't able
room.
to bomb to the north. And we don't know if Ganon's required. We don't know how much HP Ganon is. That might be a factor.
Yep. Yeah,
With,
still a lot of things unknown here. Bogie found, let's see, what he found. I didn't see where he was coming in. I was watching Cytown die to Ganon. But he was in another dungeon. He's found a ton of dungeons.
this dungeon, I believe,
even without the recorder.
Oh, which dungeon is this one? This wasn't 3, was it?
This is this is 5 or
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
7.
that must be 5 because 5 was one of the Triforces we started with.
Oh yeah, that's true. 7 was the last one that Cytown got. Yeah, definitely 5.
So, yeah, Bogey's going to back in then, and trying to find. The bow is basically going to be Bogey's only hope.
Yeah,
of,
definitely.
Catching up if Ganon turns out to be required.
Yeah, unfortunately, these blank hits, not much help here in 9. It's always nice to find where the kidnapped is, or he knows where Ganon is at this point. Doesn't really need help with what drops the compass. It's probably going to be Wizrobes.
Well, even if it is Wizrobes, I mean, it's like
Takes just a couple extra seconds.
Looking away.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, that also means he's going to be de-emphasizing looking at the staircases, so obviously really, really banking on it being an open Zelda.
Yeah, I'm sure he's marking them down and trying to go north and find her, and then he's going to come back if he needs to. If he needs the bow, then he's got his stairs room.
Okay,
Here we go.
Here we go. So Zelda's is actually one room south of the compass. But the thing is, though, is that we can't get there because we suspect she's in her own room. So we're gonna try and see can we go. We can't go down.
Yeah, I would have bombed there anyways, personally. Even though she probably is in her own room, I'd rather waste a bomb there just to make sure.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to. Oh well, hey. Okay, so we can't go anywhere. So it looks like, and there's the silver arrows.
Well, those are useful potentially.
They are. I mean,
I think he was looking for a transport, but he'll take silvers.
Yeah, silvers as well. Silvers are no good without a bow.
Right. Yeah, you can't throw the arrows at Ganon, unfortunately. And Bogey's still clearing out this 5. you know, it's not a bad play. He doesn't know it really. It's potentially the wrong play, but because he's down so much, it actually is the right play because his only hope is to find the bow.
Well,
And if it's here, it'll be a while before I would think Cytown makes its way over to 5.
yeah.
He doesn't even know where it is.
I wouldn't call it a wrong play exactly. I would just say it's a gamble play. We don't know if it's the wrong play or not. We will know soon, but from their perspective, it's not a bad play. A bad play would be digging a dungeon when you have all the required items because you're hoping maybe you'll find something useful like a red ring.
Yeah, and I'm not. I mean, obviously, I'm out of this tournament, so.
So you know all
I am
about wrong plays.
no expert on here. Here we go. And let's see.
Oh, okay. So we have found. So it looks like Zelda is required.
Very interesting.
So
Okay,
now,
good. All right, so that's a race. Now we
it
got to
is a
dig out a
race.
bow.
Speaking of bow, where is it? So the bow's not in 5 then. If Bogey doped out a 5, or if, I don't know if we found an item in 5 or not, or if it was blocked.
Yeah, I didn't see him find an item, but once Cytown found a path to Zelda, I was definitely watching his screen more. He did clear out most of that 5, though, so I find it hard to believe that he would leave without seeing the item unless he was blocked from it. And Cytown is choosing to dig 7. This is the closest dungeon. Probably not the one you would necessarily want to dig otherwise.
Okay, so it looks like here is, yep, here's Bogey in 1. Yeah, it's definitely level 7.
Yeah, this was his last Triforce. It was just one room up, so he didn't really explore anything in here.
So then the big question here, though, is that does Bogey go back to a different dungeon, or does he go straight to 9?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go to 9. 26 minutes in, you might think that you're...
Unless this is one of those, if you make the gamble and go, you know what, I'm pretty sure I've lost this race already. I'm going to go ahead and make that gamble. I'm going to go look for the bow first.
Right.
And I'm going to figure my opponent found Zelda and found out it was blocked. I mean, that would be...
I don't know why Cytown left that 5-pair room.
Here we go.
I guess since it's not shaped, so then we can't have second quest rooms.
Yeah.
Found the transport. That's the nice thing too for him though, is that he has very few rooms that he has to actually clear. He's just looking for stair rooms. He didn't even stop to pick up those bombs in that previous room before he took the transport. He's just on a rampage.
Well, considering everybody's dropping bombs left, right, and center.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, when enemies are 0 HP, you get a whole lot more drops. And it's a lot easier to build a count. Bogey gets his Triforce out of 1. And Cytown is blocked here in the 7. So he's going to have to go back up to start, find a different path. I definitely agree with this play here with Bogey to go back in and get the item out of 1. So small.
Now, Bogey also does need to head into level 2, so... Here we go, there's the white sword for Bogey. Meanwhile, do we have an item here? It looks like we've got an item. It is the book. Oh boy. And here we go.
Yeah,
Oh, so at
that's not
least it
something
does
that you
act
want.
as If it doesn't act as anything else, it at least acts as an atlas. And, well, not exactly necessary, but you know what? I think the Wand Fire might actually still have an advantage. With 0 HP enemies, Wand Fire against Land Molas. Well, actually, no, Land Molas, it wouldn't make much of a point.
I'm a little surprised you picked it up, to be honest. I think I would have skipped it, knowing that I was in first quest, and you already cleared 9 and 7, which to me are the two that you really would be helpful to have a map of. So he's now clearing overworld spots. I guess he hasn't seen the item in 3.
We haven't seen the white sword item yet, and that could be the bow.
It could definitely be the bow.
We also haven't seen where the ladder is, and even though we started with the ladder.
Right. Yeah, it exists still in the game somewhere. So we're missing an item in 8, right? We're missing an item in 8?
Yeah, we're missing an item in 8, and we're missing an item... I think we're missing an item in 6, aren't we? Yeah, we're missing an item in 6. Remember, Cytown went to level 6, but didn't dig out the item, just took the Triforce and left.
Yeah. And I don't remember Bogie getting the item out of here, so we'll see on Cytown's side what the item in 5 was. Maybe it was like a boomerang or something that he didn't want to pick up.
Yeah, it's possible. We already know where the magic boomerang was.
He didn't see the staircase, is what chat's telling us. Yeah, I figured he must have been blocked. I was watching him really closely. He cleared most of the map, and then I took my eyes off to see Cytown finish, or potentially finish, and then Bogie was out. He's in 2 now, so...
the magic key's here in 2.
Yeah, he's going to get his any key, which is always a great find, even when you have keys. I'll always take an any key.
I think the only time where an any key would not be worth a pickup is if you already have like 12 keys, and the any key is just like in a room that's like full of enemies.
I would still pick it up. I picked it up with 20 keys once, so you never know. You never know what 9's gonna do to you.
True.
I like to be prepared.
Now the fun thing about 9 is that sometimes the magic key is your savior, and the other time it is like your devil. It all depends upon how the chips lay in terms of where the locked doors are. Sometimes you need to go through a ton of locked doors to get to Zelda or Ganon, and sometimes you don't need any. Let's see here. Bogie gonna check out the grave. I don't know. Did we check out the grave beforehand?
I don't remember them pushing this.
Yeah, well, there's the ladder.
I mean, Cytown didn't clear a lot. Yep.
Okay, so we know that level 5 does not have the item.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, the only Triforce left that Bogie hasn't found is 6. Bogie's gonna do a world wrap here. If the bow turns out to be in 6, that might actually really, really help Bogie's case. Because that's the last Triforce, he'll have the bow, he'll gamble on silvers being in 9.
Yeah, this will be new territory up here. Cytown gives a large secret. This is where Bogie took a death, so we haven't seen this part of Hyrule. Gets a potion out of a take any.
Yeah, and we already had a vanilla potion take any here on Bogie's side.
We have dual take any's. Cytown will get his Coca-Cola as well.
Alright, so it looks like Cytown's back here in 6, so I'm gonna say, yeah, if the bow's in here, if the bow's not here, then that means the bow's in 8.
8 or white sword item.
Yeah, well, okay, so how, as it stands here, if Cytown pulls out the bow in level 6, it is all but basically his match. If BogieSmalls finds, the white sword item to be the bow, then he's definitely got a shot at finishing the seed first.
Oh, absolutely.
especially since, well, what Bogie's hoping that the white sword item is the bow in his power bracelet block. But he's only got one power bracelet spot left to check, I do believe. Yeah, that's actually a good point chat brings up, because Bogey was not able to check the level 7 location without having the recorder. It's very possible the white sword with the bow could be in the dead woods, you know, the fairy fountain spot. Or it could be in this room here.
Oh
Right.
man, and Bogey's gonna be right behind him. He's about to find 6. It's gonna be a little too late for him, unfortunately, because Cytown already has 9 completely mapped.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny how, I mean, Bogey really kept pace without the recorder taking him to unbeaten dungeons, which is pretty incredible. I know it's 0 HP enemies, but still. Really nice overworld clearing by Bogey.
Now, the only thing that I can foresee is if Ganon gives Cytown a lot of trouble. Which, I mean, sounds absolutely ridiculous considering what kind of a level that Cytown plays at, but we all have our bad days, and sometimes Ganon...
Nah, he'll be fine.
Yeah,
He's got a white sword and 2 potions. I'm gonna take away his Zelda card if he loses to Ganon. Especially in his own room. Come on.
Well, you know what they say, those who have their Zelda card revoked just do commentary.
That's right. That's right. Well, we got to do something.
What do they say?
Yeah, he's on his way now. It's only a matter of time at this point. But Bogey really put up a heck of a fight. I'm pretty impressed with how he was able to route this overworld. It's just unfortunate that he left 8 early without the recorder.
And there we go. That's one dead pig.
Yeah. No problem at all.
And of course, Cytown knowing the path to Zelda, which is right here. Oh, Cytown, don't get killed by the danger noodles. There we go. Get killed by these whiz robes. And don't get killed by these likes. And finally, don't get killed by the fire. That is the thing that can happen. Is you can have a heart left, walk into the Zelda's room, and just walk into the fire and die.
All right, get your GGs out in chat for Cytown. Finishes with an official SRL time of 37:14. BogieSmalls doing what I like to do. He's going to finish off this seed. He's got his Triforce out of 6.
So, do we know if Cytown wants to come in for an interview?
Yeah, I'm not sure. See if he said anything here in chat.
And meanwhile, we've got Bogie here on the Ganon fight. We can bomb to the north. That's unfortunately gonna, take him off the scent of the silvers and the compass and Zelda.
And Cytown's on his way, so he'll be joining us shortly.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. GG, man.
Oh, I had my volume way down. Thanks, guys.
So, I have a question for you. When did you realize that, hey, maybe I should blow on this recorder that I pulled out immediately?
So, I wasn't gonna do it until I checked the power bracelet spot, and walking towards the power bracelet spot, I just figured I'd just hit all the caves on the way, and ended up finding one thanks to that. So I was like, well, I'm gonna get one then because I need it. And after one, that was when I did the save quit and then started whistling and then found out the good news.
Blitz seed.
Of course, that would have been even more blitz if you stay around in level 1 or level 6 and grab the bow.
Yeah, the problem with that one was the compass sent me in the other direction. So my mentality in these seeds is I'm just gonna run and get the Triforce. If I can find the item on the way, that's great.
Yeah.
But I'm going Triforce in 9, and I cannot believe that ending up with 7 as my last one. That put me 2 spots away from 9, which is just insane. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, it was like, what the heck? You go into 7, it's like, okay, here's a free Dorito just laying on the ground, and then then just like, okay, well, the recorder doesn't take him to 9, so he's still gonna have to work for. Oh, never mind, he's in 9. This is it. Here we go.
What do they say about those free level 9s? It's always going to be Ganon required, or like an unholy amount of whiz robes.
Yeah, that was
free 9.
Yeah, the 9 definitely wasn't like difficult, but there is no way this seed could have fell any better for me. I mean, accidentally bumping into the recorder early, and then getting through everything fast, and then even when I went through 9 early, at like the 20-minute mark, I find the silver arrows, and once it ends up being a forced Ganon, I know I'm just bow and go. So I just got lucky.
Yeah, even the any key helps, just kind of on the way.
Yeah,
anymore.
that kind of goes back to my mentality with 6. I knew where it was at. I knew where the Triforce was at. I was gonna hit every room on the way up there, and just so happened the any key is in that direction. So it was good news.
And Bogie is clearing out this 9 now as we speak.
Does Bogie have the bow?
No.
No, unfortunately, he got the triangle out of 6 right at the same time that you were finishing. So it'll be interesting to see which dungeon he decides to do, because you went to 7, which I understand because it's right next door. And you had what? You had 1 item and 8 left. You had the item in 6 and 7. I think you had everything else cleared out other than 3.
Yeah, I never found 3, and that was yep.
Yeah,
and I accidentally bumped into 5.
5.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean I bumped into 5, which is
yeah.
kind of crazy too. But that was just a waste of time, is what it ended up being. But it was good.
Yeah, Bogie, he found 5 and cleared out most of it, but wasn't able to get the item out of there. And he sees the bad news that Ganon is required, and he has decided to spend his evening doing something else, I believe.
Yeah, I don't blame him at that point.
Yeah. Get your GGs out in chat for BogieSmalls. So he did not get the recorder immediately. He didn't get the recorder at all, actually. And kind of crazily was able to almost keep pace with you. He had a chance. What it boiled down to was if the bow was the white sword item that was blocked by power bracelet, or potentially if it was in 3 or 5, this race would have been very different because he found all the dungeons just kind of clearing overworld spots. And that was the only difference between the two of you, was that he did not get the recorder but did get the power bracelet.
Yeah, that's tough from his spot, because when your opponent gets that kind of dumb luck, you just kind of throw in the towel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, with this particular seed, and especially, you know exactly where the Triforce is going to be. You know what rooms you have to clear and which ones you don't have to clear. The enemies are 0 HP, so I mean, there wasn't a whole lot stopping. And we're joined in chat with Bogie. GG, sir.
Hey, thank
Really
you.
well done.
And GG Cytown.
GG Bogey.
Where was the bow?
It was a jerk. It was actually in 6. So you know how the compass led us to the right side in the north end. We had to go to the left side, and I actually I actually hit an early recorder, and it took me to unbeaten dungeons. It was like 2 rooms into 8, and I didn't know where I was at first, so I found it, and just really stupid luck.
Trying to find. Yeah, I mean, I figured if you finished early, that you must have found the recorder. I figured out we were in 8, and I bailed a few rooms in. I think I found the map in the triple Dodongo room.
Yeah,
because I knew that was the map room.
That was a bit of unfortunate, just kind of like Cytown just called it dumb luck. He was in 8 early, so were you. He kind of stumbled upon the recorder. You stumbled upon the map and said, "Wow, I don't need to be in here. I already have the Triforce," which is totally understandable and reasonable. And then yeah, lo and behold, recorder takes him to everywhere he needs to get to, except for 9, which happens to be 1 cave away from 7. But you actually did a really great job keeping pace with him, as it were. He was definitely in 9 significantly ahead of you. But I was just telling Cytown that you had some items that he didn't have because you cleared 3, so you had the power bracelet. You were in 5, just couldn't figure out the path. I don't know if you saw that the ladder was there or not. But potentially, if power bracelet was required, or if bow's in 5, this is a very different race.
Yeah, I did not see the item in 5, so I was hoping that I would stumble upon the staircase, and I was digging around anyways, just because I didn't have the any key, and typically with 5 being key rich, I figured not a bad idea to necessarily explore. That was probably the one thing though, that as I was going through it, I'm like, I don't know if I should be here very long. And then, I was also hoping maybe just stumbling upon a recorder somewhere, but.
Yeah, 5. I mean, 5 seems like a magical dungeon too, because it's potentially has the recorder or the bow. Even though items were shuffled out of their respective vanilla dungeons this seed, it just always seems like 5 is a good dig, just because of like you said, the keys.
Yeah, and the other thing I was thinking about is, if one thing obviously with the recorder bringing you to unbeaten dungeons is huge. I was worried that maybe Recorder Lake would have something, and like you said, I had the power bracelet and the raft, and so I'm like, okay, if one of these levels is blocked by one of those 2 items, then I might have a shot. But yeah, I figured once I saw the the dot done, that he must have found the recorder, which brought him all over, especially once I figured out that Ganon was required and I hadn't found the bow.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking ahead, let's see. Um, Cytown, I believe you have TA next as your round 4 opponent.
Yeah, I believe that's right. He's been killing everybody.
And yeah, so TA is coming off of wins against Cantaloupe Me and Shaddy and Sausage Link. All good opponents there. So definitely have your work cut out for him. I've only raced against him once. I believe that he was way more active before I was around, so I don't really actually know a whole lot about him. And we looked at this earlier. Bogie, looks like you are getting the winner of the Alsoa Chester matchup. That has not started yet, I don't believe.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be a good match to watch, and I don't envy Cytown going into the next round, and not to slight Alsoa or Chess Jerk, but yeah, that's going to be a tough match. It'll be really exciting though, as you see, the great runners advance in the winners bracket, and yeah, I'll watch Alsoa and Chess Jerk, see who comes out of that, and that should be fun too.
All right. Well, GG again to both of you, and good luck in your next round.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks a lot. How'd you like my my message to you, Smash?
Yeah, that we all appreciated your humor. That's fine. That's all I'll say.
I'm glad to hear that. Have yourselves a good day. Thanks for commentating, you too, Jiggly, and thanks for the restream, Dark Falls, and the who was our tracker tonight?
Tracker was I'm not actually sure how you pronounce their name. Pro and Nate. Sorry if I'm saying it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you all. Appreciate it. Even you, Smash,
Yeah.
even though you smell.
All right, y'all have a good night. Jiggly, any final thoughts for us here?
Nope. It was a good race. I can't wait to see more races. So anyway,
Well, there you go. Couldn't have said it any better myself. It was a good race, and I hope to see more good races. I guess that's going to do it for us tonight. I'm not sure if we're going anywhere.
well we've got another race coming up here at 11.
Okay, we're going to go to Randomania Prime.
Randomania, it's Insania.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Check out the next race. If you like what you see here, we got lots of races on the schedule. We are just now in the like round 3, round 4 of this tournament. So still lots to see. Hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of this random percentage, and hopefully you'll keep joining us.
Yep.
All right. Well, that does it for us. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon, evening, and morning, wherever you are in the world. And we'll see you next time.